Hello, and welcome to another episode of playing Crusader Kings 3 using the hardest possible rule set, starting as the Duke of Angria in 1178. I think this is likely to be our final episode. I talked before about how my personal win condition for these games of CK3 using the hardest possible rule set is when I feel that I'm indisputably the most powerful ruler in the world. And I do think we have gotten there. We have quite powerful armies with a lot of men-at-arms. At the end of last game, the Seljuks had the temerity to attack us. We attacked them back and stack-wiped their armies. We do see the Mongol Empire here, but again, I think we have a very significant advantage over them. See, they don't even really have that many men-at-arms, especially compared to us. And I do think over the course of this episode, I'm almost certain we'll be attacking the Seljuks again and hope to attack the Mongols as well. So we have our character here who has just shown a massive advantage in terms of combat. And by advantage, I mean his skill as a general has been much higher than his opponents. He fought the Seljuks. I believe he had somewhere between 90 and 100 advantage. So we will start here by going on a feast since he is a bit stressed out, and also from the feast we want to increase our level of influence. I want to get it up to authoritative, and that way we can change our succession type to primogeniture. Which means instead of having to manage influence and promote people's candidacy under our current system of acclamation succession, instead the titles will just automatically go to our chosen heir. Any of our children. Take a look at the tips here. For green and gray artifacts, I usually just destroy them. They're not very good unless there's something special about the artifacts. We will vassalize Pisa here. Proceed on. We'll restation our retinue vanguard in Jerusalem. What had happened at the end of last episode is we were attacking the Baltic Empire here, which is actually led by a scourge conqueror. And while we were engaged in that war, the Seljuks stabbed us in the back, attacked us for Jerusalem. We were not able to get back in time, so they won. But immediately after they won, we attacked them to retake it, and we did quite easily. See, our character is martial, relatively advanced in terms of the martial tree. At the moment, we have 2 sons. I have my suspicions about whether this is our actual son here or not. So we haven't been bothering to educate him ourselves. Instead, we left it in our capable tutor's hands. But for our second son here, Dalibor, he is a genius, which is what he ought to be. My character here is intelligent. See, my wife here is also intelligent, so we ought to be having genius children. The fact that Harold is not a genius, again, makes me suspicious. So you see the Seljuk ruler is very close to dying. If he does, we are likely going to use our kingdom level CB on him, probably for the kingdom of Syria. We don't yet have by the sword, but I believe in 1282 we should be able to reform our culture again, and at that point our plan is to add by the sword. Hopefully we'll get to use it by the end of this episode. Let's look through our buildings. Probably continue improving buildings here. Some martial grants as part of our oath. Build up some of these incredibly expensive windmills in their final stages. Do give a lot of gold and development growth. I think I should de-stress without needing to take this first option, so I'll take the second one. Take the influence, because I really want the influence. We will toast our guest. Guess we'll try to get pharmaceutical journal. See, we got 867 influence. That's good. That's what we wanted. Lots of influence. All right, this is Seljuk. He's still hanging on. I guess let's pin him. So, wrong person. Let's pin him so we can see if he dies. I mean, he has consumption. We've talked about how consumption does not go away easily. It just drags on for years until either you finally eventually lose it or it just kills you. We haven't attacked Castile in a while. Let's see what sort of claims we might have on them. That's not, seize all de jure lands, not too bad. It's possible some of our vassals have some huge claims for kingdoms or other large amounts of land, or perhaps not. Yeah, not really seeing any really impressive claims here. That one's not bad. So, Baron Ranulph of Fortenay. I believe it'll be Mr. Fortenay. It is. See here we have 100 base advantage, so just chances of anyone taking us on and beating us are, I think, really remote at this point. Scourge Conquerors get a total of plus 35 advantage, 10 for being on very hard. Every AI on very hard that leads its own armies gets 10 advantage. And then Scourge Conquerors get plus 25 for being Scourge Conquerors, so that adds up to plus 35. I think even that would not enable them to take on us. You would need a very experienced Scourge Conqueror, probably an Exalted Warlord, a 5-star martial trait to equalize our advantage at this point. Okay, we see they came out of Brittany. Guess we'll spend the gold to cross the sea and smack them. I am so confident in my massive advantage that I will willingly absorb the disembarkation penalty. I think even with it, we'll have a very significant advantage against them. Yeah, 51, even with a negative 30 from recent disembarkation. See, we're just chewing up their armies here. One of them is trying to escape, but he's not going to succeed. There we go, plus 126 advantage. I think maybe we'll just decide to siege all of Brittany down and see if that's enough to end the war. We don't even have all of our sieging perks yet. Specifically, we don't have sappers. But despite that, we are sieging at a very good pace here. We'll get piety. Usually just go with this bottom one. I don't want to pay gold. I certainly don't want to spend influence. Unless this Geldwin character is a really good knight. If he isn't, we'll just get the dread then. The question becomes, can we usurp England? We cannot. We need 8 more counties to do that, but certainly gives us a nice foothold in there. Got strong, which is good. Hold a mystical communion. Probably go with the yeah, might as well go with the Devout Protector here. Okay, the Seljuks have their new ruler. Yeah, looks like he already has a couple of wars on his hand. Let's see what we can do to make his life even more miserable. Such as taking Syria. Raise our armies. We will grab a powerful and free holy order. Men-at-arms run in, and then load in. And as soon as that happens, we will stop gathering. Combine. Where are those? Not sure where those armies are coming from, what they're doing. If they're sieging me, I will be happy to go down there and attack them. See, we have living off the land, which is just an extremely powerful perk, both for convenience and for actual tactical, strategic use. Allows you to keep your army together much longer without having to worry about supply. Which means you don't have to worry about frequently splitting your army among several counties. Also, when you encounter the enemy, you will often have a unified army. Their army will be spread out. I don't know what these guys are doing, but I'm going to attack them just because I'm sick of them running around. I feel like if this character lived long enough, we would be able to get the undefeated nickname. Have to win 100 battles without ever losing. So I guess we don't know. Before we took him over, he may have lost battles. So perhaps we wouldn't get it. He was relatively, at least somewhat older. I think in his mid to late 30s when we started playing as him. And his very successful father died of old age. His father was a character who took the throne very suddenly after his father died in a joust. There were very tense times early in the reign of his father. I believe it was Otto VI. Yep, this guy. But he went on to an extremely successful reign of 53 years. Accomplished many things, really stabilized the realm. Put us in this very strong position where I don't think any other ruler can really contest us. See, Jerusalem is almost back to full control, so we'll put our marshal on improving our men-at-arms. We will make him honest. Give him a virtue. So he has 2 virtues. The more virtues he has, the more our Catholic vassals will accept him. So again, we've had 4 children. 3 of them are geniuses, which is how it should be. And then this guy, just quick. I think something ain't right with our eldest son. We're still a little bit of a ways from authoritative, which is what we need to get to primogeniture. Frankly, I don't remember needing levels of influence or anything to change your succession law before. I think that may be a relatively recent change by paradox. We're not fighting any wars, so we can just disband here. I do want to keep this county, barony, Halab here. Very powerful. Rest. Hand out to our brothers, other people. Damascus, I think, is quite a good duchy, even though it's only 4. Give it out to our brother here. Homs out to our nephew. Give Lebanon to another dynasty member. May have run out of our dynasty members. Guess there are people that are holding counties currently who are happy to become Duke level rulers, which makes sense. Let's see what else we have here. Now we can't hand out Palmyra. We will give it to someone. How about you? Give them the counties, even if we can't give them the duchy. Because we are on administrative, we have to hand out the counties one by one. For the other counties in our the Duchy of Aleppo, we'll hand them out sort of one by one, so none of them can form the duchy. I want to keep the duchy unformed. If I at some point want to grab it, then I will do that. Don't want someone else to get the duchy, and then I have to revoke the title from them in case I end up wanting it at some point. We are still in accolade succession for now. Again, looking to fix that, or at least change it with a primogeniture. So that's the Seljuks. What about the Byzantines? That gets us virtually no land. That meaning seize all de jure lands. I mean, it's often very powerful, but in this particular case, we're just not getting much land from it. Really, we don't have any good claims on Byzantines, really. We could take one duchy in Croatia. Maybe that's worth doing, actually. That would perhaps give us the kingdom title. Sure. All right. So it's not ideal to be fighting a war against the Byzantine Empire for a single duchy, but that is what we're going to be doing. Okay. Not sure if he got deposed or what happened there. Can we try that again? Maybe my candidate died or something. The message was wrong. There, we did get the max level of splendor. Often people talk about splendor, renown being the win condition of the game, that the point of the game should be to glorify your dynasty, get your dynasty as well known and powerful as possible. So to the extent that would be considered a win condition, we have now satisfied it. I usually hit that on the way to my personal goal of becoming the most powerful ruler in the world, but not always, so it is good to hit it here. Let's see the Byzantine army. Guess we'll pay a large chunk of gold, but we do have the gold. Now we have sappers, which means we will siege even faster. We will attack the Byzantines since they got too close to us. And because we're now legendary renown, we get our purple dynasty banner. It's okay. Not great, really. Should just use stack wipe after stack wipe. See our nice plus 118 advantage there. Not interested in committing adultery with that woman. Not a bad weapon, but we have better. Probably was not going to get us anything anyway, so her death is fortunate, but you know, won't dwell on it. Usually green artifacts I just destroy along with gray ones. Do want to get more influence because again I really want to get to authoritative. Has sister that can marry. See if she can marry a genius or someone intelligent. Guess we don't need to matrilineally marry those. But if we create any, yes, looking to create king or empire level titles. Don't want to usurp the annoying kingdom of Romania. That will make the Pope hate us forever and ever, which isn't good. So yes, that's one thing if you're new to the game, or maybe you're experienced, just haven't done it before. You don't want to usurp the Pope's titles if you're Christian or Catholic at least. He'll become very angry and not give you gold or anointments or anything else. Might excommunicate you. If you play the 867 start date, you'll often see, I think it's Louis the Younger, whoever it is that rules Italy, get excommunicated. And the reason is he has territories the Pope wants. Just want to destroy those Byzantine armies to make them worse off. If there are any factions, maybe the factions will fire because Byzantines won't have as many troops. Now usurp the Kingdom of Croatia. Means next time we fight the Byzantines, we can use our de jure CB to at least get some more territory there. And who is next? Guess we could build the bath. It's good to have the disease resistance boost. Just check and make sure all our court official spots are filled. This guy is a scourge conqueror. He is facing a lot of problems right now. If a scourge conqueror loses 3 wars, they lose the trait. See, the Mongols are still cruising on. I'm not going to plan on fighting them for a single county. Let's look to see if we can get by the sword. We can. 5 years. Okay. So 1287. That'll be good. Just looking around here. Could have another grand tournament. Hostile looter trade experience is very important. So we don't need horse. We need foot, bow, and a little wit. I think let's go ahead and hold a grand tournament. Give us some time while let our truces run a bit. We'll take the recital for the wit experience. Take wrestling and duel for foot. We'll still take the joust because I like joust. even though his character's grandfather died in the joust. And then we'll take archery. Give some money to our treasury. We are going to max out the accommodations, which should prevent us from dying, but did not prevent our grandfather from dying. And then also max out the prizes because like good prizes. We are an administrative government, which means we can no longer do grand tours. We are apparently at war somewhere. I may have missed that. Okay, where is this person? They're a mercenary, I assume. Alright, no idea where they are. Oh, okay. Well, see if we can make this quick and painless. Don't think we need to concern ourselves too much with that, I think. Let's focus on our tournament. Looking to see what maximizes our score. For these adventure inspirations, if they're masters or legendary, you can get something truly unique. Pretty much always go with that. You can get some extremely powerful artifacts. That was the end of that adventurer's war for Croatia. I think he just picked the wrong time to attempt to take over Croatia. Because they're playing on very hard, ransoms are only a quarter they normally are. So it often, and there is rounded down. So someone that you would get 10 gold for on the regular game rules, you instead get 2 gold for, which is barely worth the ransoming them at all. Might as well just leave them in your prison. I typically will ransom them nonetheless. Make sure that we don't have a plague that would make us want to isolate our capital. It's kind of close, but I don't think it's spreading toward us. Artisan quarters, usually this takes gold, so I don't often go here. Guess we'll pay an immense amount of gold for a tiny amount of renown. But yeah, if it's early in the game and you don't have much gold, you probably don't want to go to the artisan quarters because most of the options there are going to cost gold. Have someone marry our excellent female knight here. Not a ruler, someone who is a wanderer. I saw that it looked like we had a family member, a nephew, who is a genius but unmarried. And we would want to fix that, get him a good marriage. We had her married earlier. Guess her husband could have died, of course. He looks good. So, you know, for geniuses, we want someone who is either Herculean or beautiful. Okay, we'll invite her to our court. This one, I assume, can invite to our court. That's our son, that's our daughter, and that's our daughter. So I guess the question is, can we get a beautiful or Herculean woman into our court who could then marry our nephew who has landed? We'll invite this beautiful woman. May have been paying too much attention to setting up marriage prospects and not have done all the events I intended to. Okay, I think that's it for that. We'll now go to stewardship. Actually, check that. We will go to learning. Does he have anything that will stress him out if we buy a bunch of claims? I don't think so. So, yep, go to learning, scholarship, scholarship focus. Let's change up our books. Let's also be a little more systematic. We were looking at our genius. Genius nephew who is already a ruler here. We want to get him married. We had invited a beautiful woman to our court. There she is. They can get married now. Not sure why he isn't married. I don't remember seeing him the last time we looked at this. Let's see if we can get some other beautiful women to our court. Our Herculean women, nope. But she will come. Oh, he is married. Why does it say? Okay. I must have just been looking at the wrong thing. Yep. Okay, so we will get her married to hopefully someone either Herculean or beautiful, a little bit younger, but I think that works. Alright, so enough matchmaking and back to our tournament. I mean, the matchmaking is important. It does strengthen your bloodlines, allows you to take the strengthen your bloodline decision eventually if it all goes well. So one of the things that surprised me is that in these first 5 series that I put on YouTube, I don't think I've strengthened my bloodline a single time. When I play on my own, it seems like every game I do end up strengthening the bloodline eventually. Just a very powerful decision. Then you have all these genius, Herculean, beautiful, and eventually fecund family members and rulers. And You just become extremely powerful. He is not worth worrying about. He only has a 9 prowess. He's not some great knight, actually. His reputation is overblown. For this one, I kind of like getting the diplomacy. It's one of the rare cases when I don't get a score increase. Sure. Not a lot of options. Are any of these women matrilineally married? Oh, she is. Okay. Oh, there you go. Finish our tournament and then check out this crusade. Looked extremely lopsided in the Christians' favor. Probably win it on our own. So hopefully our niece will become queen. Give us a bit more renown. Potentially an ally we can call on in the unlikely event we would ever need that. Okay. I think I can manage things from here. So that's that adventurer attacking Croatia again. Do not know what they think they're going to achieve. Seems like a huge mistake by the AI. Raise our men-at-arms only and go destroy him. To run off. Where is he going? Crusade may be interesting in the sense that we'll be fighting, a bunch of different rulers. We'll have, extra knights and men-at-arms compared to if we were fighting a single ruler. So it may be a good test of our army. We don't have to worry about the other Crusaders. We can just go charging in to the enemy, see if we can defeat them or not. Take this one for the horse experience. We made it through the joust without dying. It's always good. Doesn't always happen. Okay. This now seems more like a bug than anything else. I mean, can this guy just spam attacks on our territory? This guy being this landless adventurer who keeps attacking for land in Croatia. I would think if we, beat him a few times, there would be a cooldown or something that would stop him from just, chain attacking us over and over again. Pedagogy. We should really take a look at our son, who we have frankly been neglecting. Can only make him one more thing. I say one more thing, I mean we can only give him one more personality trait. What do we want it to be? Maybe we just be zealous. That's the easiest one. All three of them are good, but we did get it. Let's see if we can have him learn a language or anything as well. Martial drill. So lots of. Logistician is really good because it also saves your supply, allowing you to keep together even longer. Organizer is really good for speed of movement. Yeah, all these are good. This largely goes to why our ruler is so powerful. He has 4 commander traits. Here you go with Organizer. As you level up those commander traits, they give you additional advantage. And I think it just goes to show that our ruler just has so many commander traits, so much advantage that explains why he rolls over his opponents. Okay, we'll see if this landless adventurer appears yet again. I think that's the 3rd time we've beaten him. One would think he would have learned his lesson. But somehow I'm thinking he has not. And that we will see him again. Though hopefully not. Also, we'll be going into the Crusade with all these nice benefits from the tournament, from winning. It's good illustrious furniture there. I think if you win a tournament event, you'll get a bonus for 5 years, I believe, and those bonuses can be quite useful. Do the armillary spear. Did I change my books? I think I forgot to. So that was a mistake. I change our books to ones that give us learning lifestyle, experience. Looks like we've taken on some buildings that we want to give away. This possessed guy here. We're almost about to complete the reconstructed citadel of Aleppo. I guess a couple months. Have to get down to earth, get some more health. Obviously, since our children have not come of age, want to be healthy, stay alive until they are fully grown. One very negative thing that can happen is trying to play as a child on these hardest difficulty settings. Reason being, child seems like since the change in domain limit, children only have a domain limit of 3. Since we're playing with the -3 domain limit for the player only, that means technically they have 0, but you have a minimum of 1, so they're going to have a domain limit of 1, meaning they can only hold 1 barony before they start incurring penalties. And then there's also they're going to have low diplomacy. They won't be able to send gifts that are as effective, and so ending up with a child ruler at this level is just devastating. I think we can hold a feast before our crusade. We'll hold our feast to honor that we're probably going to actually go on this crusade and not just ignore it. But mostly I'm doing it because I want the influence. Guess we can invite some knights. They can all come along on our crusade. See there, the reconstructed citadel of Aleppo. Prowess per level of devotion. Very powerful. Along with a lot of bonuses to station men-at-arms. Prowess is now 83. Along with the marshal of 65. So sort of goes to why we aren't going to be losing many wars in the near future. That's a nice axe. Is it nicer than what we have? Probably. Yep. Okay. So that's good. Slight upgrade. Half-sister to marry someone who is either intelligent or a genius. This intelligent man looks good. As soon as our feast finishes, we will be heading out to this crusade. They are going for Andalusia, right? So this crusade looks like kind of a joke. I think that Muslim leader, if I were him, I would convert to Catholicism. Or maybe convert to Orthodoxy. I assume that would frustrate a crusade and cause it to redirect, but Catholicism certainly would save your realm. Presumably your realm is worth a mass. I think it won't be long for our feast. Though again, I think this people often mock crusades, and frankly they very often fail, so they should be mocked. But I am thinking that this particular crusade is going to be successful. I have a hunch. And not just because we are participating in it, I think it would be successful even if we were not participating in it. But obviously, if the enemy only has 24,000 troops and we alone have over quadruple that, I'm sure much better quality armies, then that's a problem. See, only 70. Maybe we need to invite a guest to get more influence. It's odd that we got so little. Anyway, on to our war here. Certainly will be leading our armies. Yep. Again, we'll just raise our armies until we have the men-at-arms load in. Okay, I guess we'll go over land. Thought it would be better to go by sea, but okay. Just saw that a faction was targeting me. It looks like we actually have a number of factions that are targeting me. Usually go for this bottom one for the holding taxes. Sway our vassals here. We will get piety. We have lots of prestige. This Coptic knight. Not even sure where the enemy armies went. Must have decided that it's not conducive to their health to stick around. Just to be sure this is where we're fighting, right? Yes. Anywhere else? No. Okay. Marry him to someone beautiful or Herculean. Ideally, you will work. Guess we'll do it for the influence. No idea where his army is. No idea whatsoever. It came to me in a dream. There's no decision there. It's just someone in your court who's inspired and working on an artifact saying that they had a dream that gave them way to improve the artifact. So it's just a unambiguously good event. Siege should put us at 100. So Pope can call it. I assume we should be the only one that actually got any war score, but we'll probably be like second or third or something. I mean, that's everything to be done. All right, so our daughter, our niece did become the queen. Only holds a single county at the moment, but queen nonetheless. Make sure all our court positions are filled. And disband our armies. Okay, Africa is Catholic, so we cannot holy war against them. Don't think we need to at the moment. Want to check on our hostile looter experience, so just foot. Interestingly enough. That tournament does not offer foot experience. Well, I guess a little bit through the joust, but not sure I want to go to someone else's joust. They may not be spending enough on the accommodations, and it could be the risk of death. So this guy, with education alone, he graduated as a 5-star martial character. So impressive for him. Frankly, his stats or his personality traits are quite poor. Not sure why he made that matrilineal. It doesn't need to be. Go with that. Otherwise, he's a pretty good character, except for being arrogant and gluttonous. We will focus on our own realm. If we were more into some sort of role play or something of that nature, then we'd probably switch to our niece, but not something we're going to do here. This is my elder son in quotation marks, since I'm skeptical that he is. Hopefully we'll not ever be playing as him, since I genuinely don't think he's mine. I do want to play as Dalibor here. It's too bad he has humble. I mean, honest isn't that great, except for the fact that it's a virtue. All right. Now what do we want to do? I think we still have a few more years before we get by the sword. 2 years, so that's not too bad. Can we beat up on Castile? That looks quite good. That is Duke Roger, so let's keep that one in mind. Duke Roger it is. I would certainly think this would allow us to usurp the title of England. Have some peasants. Not anything we need to concern ourselves with. Go through and build some more buildings. Certainly want the barracks here. Not sure about the rest of this stuff. Build our horrifically expensive max level windmills. Sure. Again, just doing it for the extra influence. And that should mean we can now move to primogeniture, which we want to do. Designate him as our heir. We can. So we'll do that. Assuming he inherits all our titles. He does. That's all good. That's the way it should be. Speaking of all of our titles, do we not have... Okay, we do have the Empire of Italia. Alright. Okay, we'll continue on here. There are Castile's armies over there. I think we'll have to do some sieging to get to them without attrition. Generally try to avoid taking attrition unless it's really necessary. Just, you know, makes your army weaker. Especially if you're fighting Scourge Conquerors, you really need your army to be at as full of strength as you can. Guess let's sway some more rebellious vassals. Just this guy. Make sure why he dislikes us. Now, I guess just the absolute autocracy is enough to make a lot of people not like us. Does that give me enough to... Yep. Only plus 45. Okay. We don't need whatever we just inherited. So we give it to our half-brother. One, but we'll go ahead and smash all these armies. You're a little late there, buddy. Thank you for the kingdom. Thought I might be able to modify that guy's contract, but I guess not. Send this guy a gift. We have plenty of gold. Might as well vassalize him. I was about to ask why Cairo had low control, but the obvious answer is earthquake. City there. Aleppo, let's build a city. Normally I want one temple and then an even number of castles and cities, with the castles coming first. You know, for some reason I have a lot of domain limit and I'm limited to one county, then, you know, and I'm not administrative, I probably just build a lot of castles, but I don't think I've ever been in that situation. Normally, instead of, you know, being stuck with one county with a lot of castles, you just rather expand. Just looking around here. So I think at this point, I had proven the point that we are the most powerful ruler. Um, Looks like our strength is considerably larger than anyone else, and our army quality, as we've seen repeatedly, is just much greater. So I think I will call it here. Though again, if someone wants to see me continue playing this campaign, please comment. I'm happy to do so. But I do think the challenging part of this run is over. We're about to get standing armies and by the sword, which is only going to make us more powerful. We're going down the learning tree, so we'll have sanctioned loopholes, be able to fabricate claims, and presumably the next step will be to fabricate enough claims to restore the Roman Empire, which would do, just make us more powerful. And so, at this point, I think we all see where this is going. And so I do think the challenging part of it is over, and I am indisputably the most powerful ruler in the world. So now sort of as an epilogue, just to talk about what I think of this run. I said at the beginning of the run that I was doing it because, in part, our first run in 1178, where we started as the Duke of Champagne, ended up being quite challenging. We ended up being landless for a while. And most interestingly to me, it seemed like Scourge Conquerors put together some very large armies at that time. I believe it was the Abbasids in that campaign that put together over 200,000 men, and there were some other Scourge Conquerors, including the Ayyubids that we had to fight, who put over 100,000 or more. There was a comment on one of my videos about how the issue with playing on this hardest possible rule set was that it just extends the early game period, but the late game period is still relatively easy, and the player is just rolling over people, and there's not a late game challenge. And I agree with that to some extent, but I do think if you get 100 years of quote-unquote early game, which is usually what you get, 100 years of challenge, that's a fairly good campaign. But I did want to see if that comment was right regarding starts in 1178. At least my hypothesis was maybe if we started in 1178, you would end up with more powerful foes, Scourge Conquerors with 200,000 plus men that might continue to present a challenge even in the quote unquote late game. And so we had one data point from the Duke of Champagne run. Now we have a second data point from the Duke of Angria run. And frankly, the second data point here tends to show that perhaps the kind of very large armies we saw in the first game, are an anomaly. Here we haven't seen anyone with 200,000 men. The Seljuks did have 100,000 at one point, but we were able to obliterate them relatively easy. I don't think they would be considered to be a challenge. So, I don't know that the hypothesis that the 1178 start date will give rise to more powerful Scourge Conquerors than 867 or 1066 was shown to be true. If anything, this run seemed to be one of the smoother ones. I think that was frankly because we got lucky after being unlucky in some prior games. In our Matilda run, we ended up with Robert the Fox being a Scourge Conqueror. That's probably the worst outcome for Matilda, is for Robert the Fox to be a Scourge Conqueror early in the game, because then it really forces you to make decisions about getting out of the Holy Roman Empire when your army might not be ready to fight an independence war. We were able to navigate that, but still challenging. We were the Duke of Champagne. We saw Henry II become a Scourge Conqueror. Also the worst outcome if you're in France, to have Henry II be a Scourge Conqueror. Usually in this game, he did not become a Scourge Conqueror, so it's not automatic. It partly was just bad luck by us, for the Duke of Champagne, that Henry II became a Scourge Conqueror in that game and rolled us over. By contrast, in this game, we started and played for quite a while, there were no Scourge Conquerors near us. And particularly, there's a real risk, since most of our lands were in the Kingdom of Germany, that some Scourge Conqueror would attack the Kingdom of Germany, and that just never happened here. And we also got a bit lucky in being able to take over the Holy Roman Empire so early, take control of our own destiny, and be able to manage, try to pacify scourge conquerors. And the main one that was a concern early on, I think the only one that ever really was powerful and bordered us was Castile. And Castile had this weird system where instead of using the Scourge Conqueror kingdom level casus belli, it was largely using duchy and county claims of other claimants, which I assume that's just some sort of bug, but that is what happened here. And so Castile was much slower to expand than you would normally expect from a Scourge Conqueror. So in short, I do think I played relatively well in this game, though again, happy to hear any comments, critiques, things I could have done better. Always looking to learn. I do enjoy Crusader Kings 3, so I like learning more about it. Things I might not have done that I should have, but I do think I played well in this game. I think we also got a bit lucky in terms of the early game. I think this is in terms of episodes, it's probably our shortest campaign, and perhaps that the brevity of the campaign reflects us getting some beneficial outcomes early on. That said, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope if you someone who's really into Crusader Kings 3 like I am, that you learned something. Happy to respond to any comments. Uh, talk about the game, talk about this campaign in particular, talk about CK3 generally. Please like and subscribe, and I do hope you enjoyed this series, and you do have prior series that you could also check out. At the time of this posting, which is early July, I am going to be going on an overseas trip for the next few weeks, so I won't be posting any videos for a while. But my intent is when I get back to do more of these challenge runs and respond to any comments then. So again, I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.